Now bring it to a close. So it was on the morning of the fourth day, the children woke up and they were happy. And they remembered the beggar with a crooked neck. And they said, we wish that he was here. We would be so, so very happy. And who appears but the beggar with the crooked neck? And he says to them, I'm here to give you the gift of the blessing that I gave you when I helped you, that you be like me. You think I have a crooked neck? No, I have the best neck and the throat of anyone, and I can prove it to you. My neck is beautiful. It's just that I have my head turned in a certain direction. I turn my head in the right direction, the direction toward unity, toward gratitude, toward humility. To Nachman, this is another key to happiness, being attuned towards the directions of humility, gratitude, and unity. And when they got this blessing on the fourth day from the beggar who had a crooked neck, you can imagine how happy they were. The crooked neck beggar's blessing is about choosing to turn in the right direction, which is where you want to cast your voice. May you be blessed to persevere in your course. May you be blessed to be flexible in your ability to change course when necessary. May you be blessed to turn towards gratitude, humility, and unity. Take a breath and let it go out. And sense where in your body is this blessing of the crooked neck beggar's blessing about choosing to turn in the right direction. Where do you sense it? Feel it. If you're not sure, just imagine where it could reside. Where do you choose to cast your voice? Let your body guide you. Let it lead you. Explore this blessing of turning towards the gratitude, humility, and unity, the flexibility to change course when necessary too. And bring it to a close. On the fifth day, the children woke up and they were happy again. And they said, you know what would make us even happier? Oh, if we could see the beggar who had a hunchback. And who appears but that beggar? He says to them, remember when we met? You needed something and I gave it to you. I gave you just what you needed and I blessed you. May you be like me. And now I will give you the gift of that blessing. You think that my back is not good, but my back is the best back. I am called the little that holds a lot, and I can prove it to you. To Nachman, everybody needs to be a teacher. Everybody is on a unique level and needs to get to a higher level by being a teacher. And to be a teacher, you have to aspire to be the little who holds a lot and give it up to the next person so that they can get it, to get to a higher level of what you know. Of course, you must be a student. So you should be able to find that point which holds everything together through your knowledge of truth and humility. Thus, the blessing is everyone has a perfect place, and to get there, you need to empty out what you know, which is when you discover what you don't know. What you've been able to grasp the truth is your level, which is your inner light. Empty that, and you'll get surrounding you more light. Give your truth up to someone else means you must be connected to your inner light and your deepest truth, which you must give to someone else. You got to keep stepping up, flow to your next level. Everyone is in the process of giving and receiving. Thus, another key to happiness is that you should be able to be a guide and know that there is room enough for everyone under the tree. And when they got this blessing on the fifth day from the beggar with the hunchback, you can imagine how happy they were. The hunchback beggar's blessing is about giving. May you be blessed to become a guide and a student. May you be blessed to empty, give what you know, which is to make room to receive. Once more, take a breath, let it out. May you be blessed to empty, give what you know, and make room, therefore, to receive. This seed of happiness is within you. Feel it, sense it, explore it with your fingers and your toes, and everything in between. May you be blessed to become a guide and a student. Give it up, empty out, and receive. And bring it to a close. On the sixth day, the children woke up, and again they were so happy. They thought their happiness, however, could be expanded and complete if the beggar who had no hands were there to join. And lo, who appeared but that very beggar. The beggar said he was here to give that blessing to be like him as a gift. He said, I have the strongest hands in the world. I only do one thing with them, which is for healing and doing no harm. They are the most powerful hands, and I can prove it to you. And he tells them a story. And the heart of the story is the idea that there are 4 worlds of healing: emotional, spiritual, mental, and physical. And each person has the capacity to heal themselves and to find one's way to heal oneself on all levels. We can do that. The way to do that is to identify all one's qualities and know that there are 2 sides to each quality. Knowing that, we are healers in training. So when they got this blessing about being a healer in training, you can imagine how happy they were. May you be blessed to learn how to soothe yourself physically, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. Continue moving if you're still moving. If not, take a deep breath, let it go, and find out where in your body, where does this key of happiness, of the ability to heal yourself in all ways, where are the places that it resides? Explore. Sense. Let it flow. You are a healer in training. From your elbows to your nose, from your belly button to your toes. Let the sensation of healing continue to flow. and bring it to a close. And that's where the story ends, dear ones. Rabbi Nachman didn't finish the story of the seventh beggar, but we guess, we intuit that the seventh beggar, the one without any feet, represents the completion of joy, and the completion of joy being dancing. The rabbi's life showed how difficult life was, but when life was truly difficult for him, he danced. So that's the completion of the healing. When you can dance, you bring joy to yourself, you bring joy to others. And the seventh day of the wedding was the Sabbath. So the footless beggar's blessing is about completing the healing process, bringing joy to the entire body by dancing. May you be blessed to complete the healing process each time and to bring joy to yourself by dancing. As Rabbi Zalman, may his memory be a blessing, said, when the body dances, the soul claps her hands. When the body dances, the soul claps her hands. So dance away, my friends. Dance away. Well, there we have it. I'll just briefly bring some thoughts to a close in terms of what why I love this story. There are just so many lessons in this story. It's almost overwhelming. I guess one of the thoughts, maybe you don't know, maybe you do know, is some background here. The children in the story become beggars because they follow in the footsteps of being beggars. And to Nachman, to be a beggar means you know how to pray. A beggar is someone who prays. And children, they were in the wilderness. We have to spend time, in the wilderness and to wake up. And the story is like a child who is waking up. We need to sort of grow up, become aware and awake to become fully conscious. And another aspect or lesson is we can do so in a way that isn't necessarily conventional. We are not necessarily who we present. There are opposites. And certainly another lesson is each part of the body is represented by different beggars. And the lesson being that the more you identify just with your head and thinking, the more you get disconnected from your body. And another aspect of the story has to do with attention. Where do you throw your attention, and how do you pay attention? Where do you pay attention? So that's some of the lessons I've learned and others have said. Just briefly, if you want to just give some feedback to us and to me in terms of what the story means to you. What do you understand from it?
Just starting.
Especially,
oh, go ahead, Ahuva.
And to me, one of the great things about this story is that things are really not the way they seem, and that you have to look deeper. You have to think about it a little bit. I just think it's really useful, especially when things are hard, that things are not always the way they seem, and that the thing that seems like a curse can be a blessing in some way.
Thank you. Yeah. Rabbi Diane, you were going to say?
I was just going to really thank you for this embodied exploration of this story, which for me brings it in much deeper. And the quality of your voice and the way that you chose to tell the story was so inviting and spacious, and evocative, and really brought me into my body. And although I could not hear the music, were you playing the music? Yeah.
Yes.
So we couldn't hear it, and that was because you didn't share it through your computer. You would have had to share the screen. I had a sense that maybe there was some music going, but I didn't want to stop your flow. And also, I was enjoying making my own music with my body and finding the particular rhythm and inner music. So it became a little bit more like an authentic movement experience of each of the qualities, each of the centers. Nevertheless, I would love to have your playlist so I can share that with people. And but yeah, your voice was extremely musical and created, in a sense, for me, the space to experience each of these ways in. So yeah, I just wanted to thank you so much for this work and giving us a taste of the whole journey, which I think is really important, to, even if there's a limited time, to go through the whole journey. And then you could choose to take more time with any one of the places, but to also feel the whole trajectory. That was great. So thank you.
Thank you.
So I wanted to thank you. I have a CD of Zalman doing this story, and it's in a lot more detail. And so I really love the way you distilled it, because it was easier to kind of get the essence of each beggar, and then taking it into the body. Have this stiff neck, so when we got to the beggar with the like crooked neck, I'm like, okay, what don't I want to see, or what am I, where am I looking? It was like really, it was very useful to look at each of those gifts and see how am I embodying it, and You know, and the one about listening and seeing, it's beautiful. So thank you.
Thank you.
I loved it too, and I found myself yeah, the way you condensed it and the way that you presented it and the fact that you gave us every time a new start. So sometimes I was somewhere and I just said, okay, I'm just taking this in. And other times I needed a new start. So I loved that you offered to us, if you're moving, move, and if not, have a breath and take this in. And I loved that. Um, I found that with the first ones were very heady. I mean, they were kind of about eyes and ears and speech, and I found myself completely locked inside, like there wasn't a way out. And that was a really interesting, you know, in terms of movement, it was restrictive, and really interesting for me, you know, because I'm always out. So that was, you know, powerful for me. And then, like Rhonda said, when we got to the crooked neck, suddenly the rest of my body in its crookedness and whatever the aches and pains are, you know, it kind of came, like all this stuff started sort of flowing out. So that was just a fascinating, I need to sort of think more about that. And it wasn't until we got to the hunchback that I realized, oh, wait, these are like places in the body that maybe I should be focused on. But because you gave us the invitation to find it wherever,
Right.
you know, it was really interesting. So thank you for this. And I'm going to continue to explore it because it was just wonderful. And I felt blessed. Each time I felt blessed anew. And that felt really, really good. So thank you so much.
I just want to make a comment just because before I forget, and then Michelle, and that is that Corolla has helped me over the years with this story and to tell the story. So a lot of it is coming from Corolla. Michelle, you had a word?
Yeah, but you did a great job to be so precise while the story is so elaborate. You know, I like from Repsamen and also Miles Crescent. There's so much material there. So you really help to focus and nail it somewhat, like this key. And I realized, I think I am in my body. And then I asked, gee, discernment, where is this key? You know, I really had to find and play and feel and sense. And then I realized with discernment, I am quite a lady of discernment, but how do I do it? I shout. I cut through with my voice, and then it's all about listening. And I thought, oh. So it was very inviting, a playful exploration. And so in that sense, it was so clear. So thank you for that. And it's so rich. I even ask myself now which prayer is connected with it, because for in the first one is Ki im Cham Kor Chaim. So I had certain prayers coming up connected with the qualities.
Interesting.
And even symbols. I'm so visual. So with this hunchback, I have this ladder going, a ladder like a sulam, a ladder. So it was so rich, inviting. So thank you. I think I will enjoy it more and even maybe read more, turn to the story. Thank you very much.
Michelle.
This is incredibly rich. This is something I could study for a semester if we wanted to speak in academic terms. The business about no hands. Wow. Having to do with healing. For me, healing has to do with holding. And how do you hold without hands? What part of my body is aware of holding? And I realized it's my skin. It's the outside of myself as I'm sitting in this chair. This chair is holding me. When I stand on the earth, the skin at the bottom of my feet realize I am being held. When you talked about the hunchback, no, I'm so sorry. There's so much here, but wow, the crooked neck, moving towards truth, like Shefa's chant about turn away from evil, turn towards good. Shirera. I don't know the exact words. And I was saying, where does the turning come from? And at first I thought it was my spine. And then I said, no, it's my nose. Because in Nia, instead of saying tilt your head back, tilt your head forward, it has to do with following your nose. Because if you follow your nose, you move slowly enough that you don't hurt anything. So it's my nose that has to figure out what direction to go and then move that way. You started. Oh, wow. At the very beginning, when it has to do with being deaf, who do you listen to? How do you go there? The letter Vav and the Sphero to ferret came to me, and the whole notion of breath, connecting the is, the will be, the secular, the spiritual, the reaching and being grounded. There's such a stunning amount of information in this. My favorite at the moment is I'm being held. And then it reminded me, healing is not just comfort, because at times I get very upset when I read in Torah about war and violence, when I look around in the world and I see war and violence. And excuse me for taking so long, but I saw this man who sold his NBA rings so that he could take care of children in Ukraine. And he decided to stay there. And his government said, all able-bodied men, I'm not a man, all able-bodied men, please arm yourself, we need you. I would rarely take up arms, but that spoke to me. And then I had a vision of a mother holding her baby. I love comfort. I think of God in terms of spirit, in terms of comfort. And standing in front of it was Gavura or Gabriel or something that was armed in protection. And I got the duality of Chesed and Gavura. You have to protect. It's not just about comfort. And all of these came from me listening to your voice. I want to thank you for these moments of blessing that you've given me today. It's huge. I honor you as my teacher. Thank you.
Thank you all. And I am really sorry you didn't hear the music. because I have heard from others and that each of the choices of the music resonated. And it was sort of, in a way, it was an accident because I had so much music to choose from that a lot of times I just kind of made it up to chance for each beggar. I had like 3 or 4 different songs. And I just said, wow, they all fit. So anyway, I'm just going to choose this and that and that and that. So I will send the playlist.
Can you send that list? I didn't hear any music from you.
Yeah, I don't know if I can send it from Spotify, but I've written it down so I can email it, very simply. So that I would love for you to think about the beggar with the choice of the music if you wanted to do that some other time.
Hmm.
So if you can, you should be able to send me, at least me, a link that I can send out to everybody to your playlist. But if that doesn't work, but you should be able to do that from Spotify. I just, Dove, did you want to say something? Because I saw you reaching for, no. Yeah?
Oh, I put it in the chat. I mean, the words have been shared, but this was so rich. And thank you. Thank you. I'm going to stew on this for probably years to come.
Yeah, so
just share with you that you cannot anymore buy the CD with Richard and Miles. It's no longer in existence, but there's Rhonda mentioned, there is one CD, and there's also Rabbi Nachman wrote a book, a very small book on the tales. So for sure you can get that. And as been mentioned, there are stories within stories for each beggar, almost each beggar. It just goes on and on. Okay, thank you so much. It's been such a pleasure to share my favorite story with you.
I'm also wondering, Yosa, if you could, if you're willing to share your script, because I have to apologize. I was a little bit diffused today, so I didn't start the recording at the beginning. And I think people would love to be able to read what your words. And the other thing I learned today was that for everyone who presents, probably we need to do a little session in advance to make sure we're clear on the tech for how to share the sound, for instance, so that although I think it was kind of an unexpected gift that we were able to do the moving in silence. We missed your music and yet forced us to really listen to our own bodies. So there's a lesson there too, maybe of how to sometimes work with sound and sometimes invite people to listen to the music that is coming from your own moving. So thank you so much for your brilliance, and I hope you'll come and teach us another time. Maybe next year you'll do another session with us in transforming through moving with a different topic. And I just want to say in general that just to say that this whole year has been an experiment in having somebody different share some of their own teaching each time we meet. That has been incredibly rich, combined with our long time knowing of each other and the kinds of seasonal check-ins that we get to do. I'm kind of thinking, I've put this out before about how to proceed in the coming calendar year. I mean, we'll go through December in this way, whether to meet maybe every other month, and then whether to invite a few other people who have studied with me long-term but didn't do the Embodying Spirit program to think about ask them whether they might want to join. So if you have any thoughts about that, just email me privately about it. But I think there's something about the long knowing of each other and that allows us to go deeper and deeper. And then this sharing of each of our own work and our own way in, it just really becomes a very synergistic, growing kind of organism that we are, our embodying spirit organism. So, Chodesh Tov, we're gonna do Cheshvan next month. We don't have time to go through it, but we've done it before. So, it's Vav Hey Hey Yud. So it really becomes focused at the end. That Yud is what is in the Asiya place. So it's coming into a very concentrated filet mignon kind of meal, as it were. It starts with its sinur, and then it has this spreading in Bria and this spreading in Yitzirah and we did it as 2 verticals and then a horizontal at the Yitzirah level, and then the Yud is the sagittal at the bottom, and we're bringing in all 3 planes now with that. So something to look forward to in Cheshvan. Have a beautiful rest of your day, your evening, your night. Sleep well, rest well. And thank you, Yosa. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Yosa. Thank you, Rabbi Diane. Thank you, everyone. All those loving faces.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.